This is TNA, the new face of professional wrestling.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Feast or Fired for January 22nd, 2003 TNA pay-per-view. Brian with my wife.
Hi, sorry we're a little late.
Well, it's going to be late going forward.
True.
So, no big deal, really. Anyways, let's get into this. Another week of Sports Entertainment Extreme. Trying to run house. Fallout from the previous week's show. Tonight, there are going to be 3 title matches with the opponents for the belts being picked entirely by Vince Russo. Starting the night tonight, we don't know who they are. So, we will get to that eventually. But they do announce that this is like the first time that they are now available to be purchased in Australia. So I guess they're streaming in Australia. They got a bunch of stuff trying to promote Australia this week.
They did.
But despite what I was assuming was going to happen, we actually start this week with a match instead of the Sports Entertainment Extreme talking segment. We get a 6-man tag match with one team being David Young, Jimmy Yang, and Shark Boy versus the SATs. So, the Maximo Brothers and Amazing Red.
I have nothing to add here.
We get all 6 men fighting in the ring to begin with, and then we get, I would say, moves in triplicate. Is the best way to put it. The SATs whip all 3 of their opponents into the center of the ring, making them all bump at each other. And then after that, they knock them down and do, in tandem, all of them diving onto Red and all the Maximos, all diving onto one of each of the guys. After that, Young and Yang get taken and, pushed out of the ring. Red dives onto them, and then they triple team Shark Boy in the ring for a little bit. So we get a little bit of a 3-on-1 with some unique maneuvers, stuff like that. Though, this being all X Division guys, this can go a mile a minute. It's hard to, write down everything cool that happens, and it just, you lose track of it so easily. There's a lot of good back and forth. No team has total control of the match. I said some notes from the match. Yang is acting more like a heel in this match. I would notice he's been smacking around Jose Maximo a bit, and also, quick to throw them the outside and beat him up with the steps and the guard railing and stuff like that. Yang's acting like a heel tonight, more so than anyone else in this match. I don't know if he's supposed to be, but if I were to assume going forward, what we're going to see from Yang, I would assume we were going to see him be a heel. But we'll see.
Which is sad because I like.
I noticed Joel go for a senton, and I took note of this because I find it amazing between people who do really good sentons and then the people who don't.
I don't know.
Because my comparison here was to Jeff Hardy. Joel Maximo doing the senton, he just flops over and lands like a rock. When Jeff does his senton bomb, we're going to call it, he's so graceful. It looks like he floats through the air until he smacks down on the guy. It's just weird seeing the difference,
I don't know what a senton.
Okay, it's a front flip where you land with the flat top of your back across their chest and midsection.
Oh.
Off from the top rope.
Sounds painful.
You'll see a lot of it with Jeff Hardy. Because the Swanton bomb's his finisher. Or senton. It's a senton.
I'm going to call it a sit-on-bun.
He has that and the Twist of Fate. You'll get used to that. You also get used to his other moves, like Whisper in the Wind and stuff like that.
Sounds sexual there.
No, it's just things he does, okay?
Okay.
Things that are mostly unique to his moveset that we don't see most other people do very often, or he has a unique way of doing them. Jeff Hardy comes in eventually. It's a little while from now, but he gets in trouble with drugs and stuff. And
Oh yeah, he's the one that I'm really excited to see up against Sting, right?
that's 2011.
Okay, that does not take away my excitement.
Okay, whatever. Finish to this match comes when Yang is cut off by one of the Maximos going for the Yang time. Then Red goes up and hits a sunset power bomb called the Code Red for the 3. So the SATs win this one. As they're celebrating going to the back, Conan returns with the kendo stick, attacking the 3 losing competitors. The same fat promoter from the week before, because I never took note of him because I don't know who the hell he is, but he's just a big old fat guy who's supposedly a local promoter, comes in and yells at him, and then they have security and cops take Conan out. But before he gets removed entirely, he does stop to yell at TNA, saying that TNA knows exactly what this is all about. TNA denies this.
Wouldn't you if you were TNA?
I guess. And yeah, I don't know what's going on with Conan right now. We have to assume he has nothing to do with the Sports Entertainment Extreme stuff. I do know some of the stuff that happens later, but I don't know what's going on with him right now. I don't know what the storyline is right now off the top of my head. Today then also mentions before the end of the segment that Percy Pringle also apparently gave a full explanation of his actions and why he, was willing to shake Russo's hand last week. But you have to go online to read it. Screw that.
We are 20 years after the fact.
I don't even know if that explanation still exists online. Maybe it does, but I would be hard pressed to find it. You couldn't pay me enough to look for it.
We're lazy people.
That has nothing to do with being lazy. It has to do with the fact that I don't know how you would find it. All right, so pretty good match overall. It's entertaining. If anything I could say is with a lot of X Division stuff, it's so fast that it's hard to keep track of most of what happens, and all you can really do is try to remember the best parts. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I will admit I like Red Dude and Jimmy Yang's flips. Those are
there probably is a point in the future when it gets to be too much as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can only do so many dives and stuff like that in one match before it gets to be too much. So we'll see what happens. X Division's still fine right now, but we'll take things as they go going forward. Moving on. Next segment is the talking segment. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Exciting talking. Russo really bringing the heat here. SEX arrives in the ring. Russo says that that they are up 22% in pay-per-view buys this week, and that the T-shirt is the best-selling shirt in the company. The Sports Entertainment Extreme T-shirt.
I'm guessing because people want to wear sex.
Sure. Wouldn't you?
No.
Okay.
I'm perfectly fine with my little, T-shirts that have, sassy sayings like 0 foxes given or whatever.
Okay. Well, anyways, getting the actual point of this segment, he has also come out to announce the competitors for the title belts tonight. So we start with the tag titles, and he picks Elix Skipper and Low Key to challenge for the belts. The most fair and even match that he could set up out of all the potential things.
Yeah.
And then he goes on in the whole diatribe about how he wasn't going to just hand Siaki a cakewalk and says he's going to give him a 3-way dance. But, unfortunately, that kind of gets thrown out the window when he says it's one of the stage crew, basically. One of those guys that have been, being shown up as the guys that are, doing the backstage work until they can get a chance to, be in the ring and stuff like that, work dark matches, work their way up the card. That's going to be one of the opponents. And then the other one's Athena. He also insinuates that she's a whore. Because he says she brings her knee pads every week, and he knows that for sure.
Oh.
What? You didn't realize what the heck you meant by that?
I didn't. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right, and then finally, a four corners gauntlet match, which means there's submissions, pins, and over-the-top rope eliminations for the World Championship, with Jarrett defending against Christopher Daniels, BG James, and Heavy D Don Harris. So another one stacked against the champion here. Good for them. The mic is handed off to Mike Sanders. He says next week we're going to meet the new talent director or something. I don't remember. I will talk a little bit more about that later. But then he also has someone else for us to meet this week, and he introduces Ashley Hudson and claims that he is the SEX Australian heavyweight champion. If we don't remember, Ashley Hudson has appeared once before. He was the Aussie that was in a tag. He tagged with. Did he tag with Ron Harris or did he tag with Brian Lee?
I don't remember.
I think he tagged with. I think it was during that time Ron Harris was going through tag team partners every week.
I think so.
And beating them up after he lost. I think Ashley Hudson was in there.
I think so too. I would have to go through my notes and remember nicknames I gave.
I do know when we started this and they were talking about how they're now airing in Australia. I said, "Hey, they've had that one. The only guy that was been from Australia that we've had on the show has only been here one time." So funny enough, they bring him back this week.
Sure.
And this leads into match number 2. I guess for the Australian Heavyweight Championship. I don't remember seeing a belt.
I don't either. I
don't think it's ever an official belt. But it's Jorge Estrada versus Ashley Hudson. The verse go to try to tie up, but Hudson gets in some sneak punches each time they go for it. Estrada has enough of this and starts hitting some arm drags and holds on him. Dive over the top rope on the Hudson. Estrada looks like he went head first into the floor, though. Yeah, that was a bad dive. But he got back up, got right back into the match, so I assume that he didn't actually hurt himself. It just looked bad. He has a really cool move here where he does a backflip from outside on the ring apron into the ring onto Hudson. That was really cool. Most part, but like the first half of this match, Estrada is in control. Hudson gets some momentum back, just using the outside like a lot of times people do. Ring steps, guard railing. He's hitting mostly striking moves. Then Hudson wins by rolling through a diving crossbody that Estrada did. Apparently there was just too much momentum. And did he use the ropes to pin him, or did he just I think he just did the rollover after the crossbody and just won by surprise was the idea.
Yeah, I think so, because the only one I remember, I don't remember this one having the rings being involved.
Okay. But ultimately, Estrada was great. Always good to watch him work. I think he's a really, really good worker. I wish he would get a better push than what we've seen from him. It really seems like his like feud with Siaki and everything fizzled out.
It really did.
And he's also like the North American champion. He's like also the NWA North American champion, but he doesn't get to wear that in TNA, which sucks.
Because it's not their belt.
Yeah, it's not a belt for the TNA shows. So it's just unfortunate. But yeah. Hudson sucked. I was to say, Hudson is just nothing special in the ring. After the match, though, Mike Sanders goes up to Estrada and looks like he's trying to offer him a chance to join Sports Entertainment Stream. Estrada just walks away. So, good on him. But, yeah. Like, as I said, Estrada was good. Match is, like, crap, though, because Hudson sucks and, like, you're only as strong as your weakest link.
which sucks.
There's only so much you can do to carry someone who's like not good with your style and just like not great to a good match. Some people can do it really well. It's very difficult though.
True.
All right, moving on. We just go straight into our next match here. Match number 3. It's the living legend Larry Zbyszko versus AJ Styles. Recall from last week, AJ Styles was demanding a title shot against Jeff Jarrett. And as Larry Zbyszko interrupted and basically was giving Styles the business for following Vince Russo, even though Styles says that he's not with anyone right now, he's just with himself. So it led to this.
I'm just saying, I would not be surprised if Styles does go to Russo due to the fact that everyone's like, oh, he's already with Russo, and he's like, you know what, fine.
Manifest destiny.
Yeah.
Self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah.
He got pushed there. All right. Anyways. Styles mocks Zbyszko on the way to the ring, doing that little fake old man walk you do when you want to mock an old guy. After they get in the ring and after the bell rings, they take good 2 minutes to finally actually do anything. You could argue Styles is trying to size him up. You could argue he's scared. I don't know. It was just 2 minutes of nothing, technically. It works for ring psychology. I think they would have had to put a little bit more effort into, though, for the ring psychology to actually come through. It really just looked like they were wasting time to me. But when they do finally get together, Zbyszko takes him down with a wrist lock and then gets a side sitter's leg hold on Styles and gets a good gets that in a good few times, forcing Styles to get a rope break and then do it again. He has to get it out with a kip up. When AJ Styles does return with offense, it's mostly just striking on Zbyszko. And I assume this is just because, Zbyszko at this time probably in his 50s. I don't know for sure. I'd have to, figure out how old he is now and then subtract 20 years. In fact, I can do that real quick. Give me one moment.
I love that. You're so cute.
No, let's see how old Larry Zbyszko is. I don't know. I spell his name apparently terribly. All right, so he's 71 now, so he would have been 51 at the time. Okay. I think that's fair.
Going up against a 20-year-old?
Yeah, AJ Styles is like 22 or something here. He ain't that old.
Yeah.
But as I said, I have to assume since Zbyszko is 51 here, he's just not in. He's not The Rock. He's not Sting. He's not someone who can keep peak physical. He doesn't have amazing physical conditioning for his age, sort of thing going on. I mean, he's in good shape for his age.
Better shape than I am.
I'm just saying that Styles tried to do his high flying shit here. I think he probably hurt Zbyszko, so he has to work with what Zbyszko's limitations are.
True.
Number one rule in wrestling, try to protect each other so no one gets hurt. But that does limit this match and limit Styles. We do see he does catch Zbyszko with a super kick, which throws Zbyszko backwards and over the top rope. That was probably the best moment in the entire match. Because it's just Zbyszko is there Zbyszko takes that tumble and everything, and it's like, oh wow, he really got him. It looked good. Afterwards, they get back in and they do some more stuff. Not a lot. We do know that Plumtree is out there again watching, but I know at some point he disappears permanently. I don't know when it's going to happen. I don't know if it's really hard because I know he disappears really, really soon. So him continuing to show up when I don't think there's ever going to be a payoff. It just feels like I'm wasting my time mentioning him.
Yeah, but
he was there.
Yeah.
if I was watching this for the first time and I had no idea what was going on, I would have to assume there was going to come a payoff for Plumtree. So I have to mention it because if you don't know because it's something that happens that if you didn't know, you would probably take notice of. That's the best way I can put it.
Like me personally, or?
Well, if I had never told you that Plumtree disappears, you'd assume something's coming, right?
Probably, yeah, I would.
Okay. Anyways, the finish comes. Zbyszko stops Styles from flying from the corner. I don't remember how he happens. But he basically, he falls on the ropes, knocks Styles down in the corner. He then goes to, get Styles down from the corner, but Styles, sweeps Zbyszko's legs out from under him and pins him, and uses his feet on the top ropes to pin Zbyszko and get a really quick, cheap 3 count and a win.
Which pisses people.
Well, yeah, he cheated to win. He cheated to beat Larry Zbyszko.
But didn't they say later on that, like...
Zbyszko looks like... Okay. What TNA was saying was that Zbyszko looks like he should have known better. Like, he let Styles get one over on him, and he should have known better, and that's what he was angry about. Which, I guess you could say that's fair. Zbyszko is the veteran here. He's been in the business forever.
Well, TNA said that was something that he did.
And maybe something Zbyszko did. I've not really watched much of Zbyszko's career, so I don't know him very well. I know him from his time period as Vince McMahon's stooge during the Attitude Era, alongside Pat Patterson, but outside of that, I don't know much of his work. Unfortunately. But following this, Styles goes to TNA and says, I need a world title shot. You can make this happen. And that was it. Again, this match, fine for what it was. It told a decent story. It made Zbyszko look good in the ring. And the problem here is at the same time is that it makes Styles look weak even though he won.
Yeah.
Because it looks like he could not compete with this old guy in a legitimate contest. I think that's the wrong way to go to build him as a challenger.
It is.
And it wasn't even because he was cocky. It was he legitimately was being out-wrestled. There are ways to build a chicken shit heel that's not deserving on his own merits, but is able to sneak his way into victories, in a championship. There's ways to do that. But you got to make him look semi-competent. You can't make him look like a geek. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which I think they were more doing here than they weren't. So, competent match, bad way to build a champion. Even a heel one. All right. We go to the back with Lynn and Truth and Goldilocks with them. And the interview basically boils down to is if Vince Russo kills TNA, where's Jerry Lynn gonna go? And he doesn't know. Rolling into match number 4. It's Mike Sanders and David Flair versus Jerry Lynn and The Truth. Lynn and Truth charge down to the ring, start a flurry of attacks. Eventually, we get Truth and Flair battling outside the ring while Lynn takes on Sanders on the inside. Attempting to get some quick falls on him, something just, get this over with. Eventually, it does get turned around. We get a double team from Sanders and Flair, but Lynn's able to fight back. Lynn even tears open Flair's shirt and starts hitting him with nice edge chops. Lynn even doing the woo. Taking some things from David's father there. Eventually, though, Lynn does get into some trouble. Sanders and Flair working him over. During this whole match, TNA and West are going on about how they can't focus on the match with everything else at hand and at stake tonight. And I can't focus on this match for other reasons, personally. Mostly because I don't care about Sanders or Flair because neither of them are very good. And I wish they wouldn't wrestle. You've got Truth and Lynn, who both had really good matches with each other and has had really good matches with a bunch of other people, going against Mike Sanders and David Flair, who I cannot name a good match between the two of them.
I'm not going to lie, outside of this, I can't think of any match that they've been in.
Well, last week, both of them had a match.
Oh.
I think. I know we've seen a singles match for both of them. But yeah. Eventually, Sanders starts shit-talking Truth in the corner, but Lynn takes advantage of this to finally get a tag in. Truth goes wild and gets a near fall with an axe kick. Lynn tries to roll up off the ropes, but gets hit with the burlap sack with something in it by Flair, knocking him out and giving Sanders the ability to pin Lynn for the victory. So SEX got the win on this one. Getting real sick of that fucking burlap sack shit, but it's something you can do just fine, I guess. But I don't want to watch these two wrestle, so it just doesn't do anything for me. There have been plenty of teams who have used a foreign object or hairspray or whatever to win matches that are just fine. It just doesn't do anything for me when it's two guys I don't ever want to see wrestle. Eminem did that. Like Eminem, I know you don't know what I'm talking about. It was John Morrison. Was Joey Mercury? Was he still going by Johnny Nitro at the time? Maybe that was what the end was. And then Melina. It was a tag team in WWE. And for a while there, I think they used like hairspray as like a gimmick to blind their opponents to win matches. But it worked because like it was we're doing good but we're not winning, so let's just do this to put them away. Whereas in opposed to we suck so we need to cheat.
Yeah.
Moving on, because I would assume if you really had anything to say, you'd speak up.
I would. I'm not shy.
I wish you had more to add, but
I'm sorry.
Well, I'm going to ask you this, because next is the Piper segment. Did you understand anything he was fucking talking about?
No, I think that's where I started to check out.
He went on a long one. He's a great talker. He talks with a lot of passion. He sells it. But I had no idea what he was trying to say.
This is what I grabbed from what I was able to grab. He wants to wrestle Russo at WB23. That is what I took from it. If that is wrong, that is on me, because, again, I kind of started checking out at this point.
Okay. I'll give you what my impression was, but I cannot be certain this is accurate. My impression was that he's got his own little wrestling company now that he's going to train guys at. And though Piper's not going to go back to TNA again, like he's not going to ever show up there physically, he's going to train guys who he can send to TNA to like be a thorn in Russo's side.
All right. Like I said, I probably misunderstood it.
But I will say this as well. I don't think we ever see anything come of this.
Like I said, he had me there for a minute and then started rattling off on other things, and I'm like, Now I'm gone.
I'm not gonna say that no one that's worked for whatever Piper was doing there never went to TNA, never went and worked in TNA, but I don't know when. I don't know who. I don't know how I'd find that out.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't think I ever knew that WB ever had a wrestling thing.
I think that was the channel I used to watch like Urban Championship Wrestling on. It might have also been the channel I watched Wrestling Society X on. I can't remember.
I'm not a wrestling fan. Everybody knows this.
I know it was used to be like UPN was what had SmackDown.
I know USA had Raw.
Now.
Yeah.
For a while, it was also like TNN.
TNT?
No, TNN.
Oh. I don't know. TNT may have also had wrestling.
Maybe.
I used to watch a lot of USA because they had Law and Order.
All right. Next 3 matches, final 3 matches of the night, all the championship matches.
Yes.
So, match number 5, tag titles, Loki and Skipper versus AMW. Easily the best match of the night. There is, like, no question on my book. Everyone in this match looked fucking great. I loved it. Loved every bit of it. A lot of back and forth. A lot of, like, high tension moments. It was just a fantastic match. Though I do note that Loki looks weird with hair. I'm just so used to seeing him almost all the time bald. In WWE, he was Caval, he was bald. When I saw him working when I was watching TNA in like the late 2010, 20-aughts, early 2010s, he was bald.
Sorry.
Like, I've always known Loki to be bald, so seeing him with like a buzz cut is just weird to me.
Okay, I'm noticing that I'm doing the same thing that TNA does.
What's that?
I never spell Loki's name the same way.
How do you have it spelled this time?
Lokee.
I wouldn't be surprised if he has spelt it that way.
I think he has, and I think that's why I had it that way.
I always spell it LOW space KI.
Yeah, I've never actually spelled it that way. The normal way I think I spell it is like the Norse god Loki, Loki. But yeah, no, I just I noticed that I spelled it differently than normal, and I'm like, oh, what the hell?
Anyways, we got us a really good early back and forth between Loki and James Storm. They're trading holds, strikes, throws, things like that. Though at certain point, I don't know what they were trying to do, but we get this moment where like they botch, but there was so much momentum they didn't have like the ability to course correct. So Loki goes, I think he was probably going for like a head scissors, and there was a miscommunication, and or he tripped, and Storm went like diving off the rope whip. So instead of getting a head scissor or anything like that, Storm head first goes into Loki's crotch. But he's the one that's out. But Storm's the one that's out. After one of 2 times someone has gone into Loki's crotch, and Loki's crotch is the one that comes out on top.
I'm just saying that's a scary crotch at that point.
Yeah, he's got a crotch of steel. After they regain control, it looks like they're trying to target Loki's arm for a bit, but they drop that really quickly. I think that was unfortunate. They double team on Loki for a little bit, and they throw him crotch first into Skipper's face. That was the second crotch shot. As I said, Loki's crotch is a weapon in this match. I want to make a steel rooster figurine with Loki's head.
So horrible.
It is horrible.
Maybe he was
After this, get the trade to Skipper. Storm and Harris have full control of Skipper as well. They look like they're working at a near perfect unit tonight, and it's not until Daniel starts getting involved that Triple X gets back control. Then James Storms gets worked over for a while. Skipper gets him, down, putting him into rest holds, trying to wear him down. He does fight his way for a tag, but Daniels manages to get a distraction on the ref so that he doesn't see it, so the tag doesn't count. And then, because Harris got in the ring and the ref, doesn't think he's a legal man, is trying to get him out, that gives it a chance for all three of them to attack Storm. So, heavy cheating on Triple X's part, heavily using the numbers game, playing it smart. This is the smart sort of heel, where they're also a threat because they're really good.
And they don't have to use cheating.
No, but it is what got them control of the match. But once they have control of the match, it's not like they lose it easily without continuing to cheat. They're just using whatever advantage they could get.
Yeah.
It works a lot better in this sort of match. Though he does eventually fight his way into getting the tag, letting Harris run wild for a little bit, and gets another near fall with one of his big moves. He got hit. It was like a sit down. It was like a sit out power. He almost gets another one with a sit out power bomb, but a distraction preventing the ref from counting the pin. And Harris just looks frustrated as hell at this point and starts beating down Skipper in a way that is not becoming of a face.
Do you blame him though?
No. After this follows, a series of moves with saves from Daniels, and then eventually, all hell's broken loose. Skipper gets in with a title belt and hits. I don't even remember who he hits with the belt for a cheap shot, but that lets them win. And we have new tag team champions in Triple X. There are far worse people who could be champions right now.
True.
And even though they cheated the win and they're heels, I'll give them that. My only complaint is that it was so soon after AMW got the belts back. Right now, again, this is really, it's really hard to put myself in the mindset that all we have to work with is a pay-per-view every week, and we have to record several shows all at once in one night, versus a weekly television show and then a monthly pay-per-view. I'm so much more preferable and much more used to that other format. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That it's really hard for me to get in the mindset of these title reigns being so short because they have to defend it so much because we need reasons to sell our pay-per-view every week. In the back of my mind, I understand it, but it's really, really hard for me to put that in the forefront of my mind while I'm judging these shows.
Yeah.
But we got new tag champs. And I know we're not done with AMW. I know we're not done with them being champions. So I'm looking forward to seeing what other stuff we can see done with them. Again, though, still a really, really good match. Really well fought. Really well planned out. Not overbooked. Just fantastic title change. I would watch with a little bit more build. I would watch that on a pay-per-view, a monthly pay-per-view very happily. It was that good of a match. We get a quick cut back to Bullet Bob, and he's upset about how things are going tonight and says basically everything's dependent on Jarrett now.
Yeah.
All right, match number 6, X title. It's a three-way dance. Athena versus Sonny Siaki versus Chris Vaughn is the name of the ring crew guy that's getting his opportunity tonight. Hello, Gabby. You're in heat.
She is in heat, and you're sorry if you can hear her.
All right. I can't imagine this match will be like anything noteworthy, and it's really not.
It really isn't.
Siaki starts out by roughing up Vaughn a bit before turning to Athena, but because he's distracted, this allows Vaughn to get in some surprise offense and some pin attempts. He turns things around, turns attention to Athena again, This lets Vaughn get in some more offense. Eventually, Desire pulls Athena out of the ring and beats her up to keep her occupied so Siaki can just concentrate on beating Vaughn up. Hits the Siakalypse and wins. Really nothing noteworthy much in this match. After the victory, Trinity shows up to attack Desire. But after Siaki breaks him apart and gets his hands on Trinity, Cash arrives to stop him from, doing anything.
Yeah, this is where
they also sorry, go ahead.
This is where I noticed where I'm like, why is Kid Rock look like protecting her instead of, the tag team she normally comes in with, Quiet Storm.
Divine Storm,
sorry.
Quiet Storm is one of the members.
Sorry, I meant, that is such a weird name. Who would name their... never mind. I realize it's a stage name.
Well, the other one's Chris Divine.
Yeah, okay. Divine Storm. Why didn't Divine Storm save her instead of Kid Rock look like?
Because they're building Kid Cash to be a credible threat to the championship, to Siaki's title.
All right.
That's the explanation. You don't have to like it though.
I don't.
But they're doing it well. He's being built as a potential next champion. I'm fine with that because Cash is a good worker. Even if it's a good, I don't know. Okay. I would note that I probably even wrote down Cash flubs a dive more than anyone else, but he's still overall a fine worker. Now I feel like I'm just bullshitting.
Yep. You're trying to sell him, but insult him at the same time.
I need to be honest. Anyways, moving on. So we get Goldilocks invited to the Sports Entertainment Extreme locker room, where all that happens is she gets covered with silly string and champagne. And
it gets in her eye.
Yeah.
And she's wearing a white shirt, so they kept trying to get her shirt wet.
Yeah, but they're back there celebrating. Russo comes in and he is not happy with this. He's like, it's too early to celebrate. We don't have the world title yet. You need to worry about that now. Get out there, get it from Jarrett. He's, hyping up Don and the rest of them. Then, next segment, Dusty Rhodes appears, and he's carrying a chain. This is never addressed.
Actually, it is.
Is it?
Yes.
I don't remember it being addressed. I just remember he had the chain, and I said it, or I wrote it down, and I don't remember anyone saying anything about it.
He gave it back to someone.
Oh. I thought it had something to do with Magnum TA, but I don't know.
No. Apparently that was used against him last week.
Oh, is that what happened?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I remember him saying this.
I don't remember.
See, obviously I was paying attention.
Apparently. See, at least you can catch things I don't sometimes, and that's useful.
Because I'm sorry, I'm gonna ruin this for everybody before he can get to it.
Okay.
The person who was
ruin things.
Sorry.
Go for it.
No. The person that was Mr. Wrestling 4, whatever, I don't remember the name.
Nikita Koloff.
Yeah, Russian dude is what I'm gonna call him.
Okay, because he's the only Russian that's ever wrestled.
Is he?
No.
I will figure out a new. I haven't put down a nickname yet, so it's not concrete. Calm down there. I do think Nikita is a girl Russian name, so
I don't agree.
But you don't have to.
Ashley was not originally a female name, so.
Oh no, it wasn't. It was a unit. Moving on. He calls that guy out. He comes out, stands on the announcing table thing.
I don't have a job to do here. Just go for it.
And he talks to him about a few different things, like how he drew this line in the sand and shit like that. And then he's like, "Oh, by the way, this is you. I need to give this back to you."
Oh, he did?
Yeah, and he threw it back.
I don't remember seeing that part.
You didn't see it because you saw Nikita at that point, and I heard he threw something, and the only thing he had in his hand was the chain, and I heard the chain hit the floor.
Okay.
And slide.
All right. Building off of what you've set up here.
Sorry.
The line in the sand basically was Rhodes saying, you can either stand up with me, stand up what we used to, what we used to stand for when we wrestled as a team, or you can whore yourself out to Vince Russo, because he's equating the idea that working for Russo makes you basically a prostitute. Then Russo rushes out, and he makes the case that Nikita can either, stick with. Okay, you cannot knock my monitor off the table.
That will knock me out.
You can either, get stuck in the past or move to the future with him. And Russo's trying to sell the idea that, the future of wrestling is with him and that wrestling will die otherwise if we don't, evolve and move forward.
I don't know if that's true, to tell you the truth, but we didn't really get a chance to see it.
I will say this. Wrestling today is a lot closer to what we see here than wrestling what we're seeing here was even 10 years before this.
Like I said, I don't know if what he's saying.
Hell, 5.
5?
Yeah, 5 years before what we're watching here, was just the start of the Attitude Era, when things really started to change.
Okay, like I said, I've never been into wrestling. I think before I met Brian, I think I watched maybe one match and I played one wrestling game, and that was when I was in 6th grade-ish.
Mm-hmm.
5th grade-ish. And it was because of my brother's friends.
Okay. Anyways, so what happens from here is that Koloff pushes past Russo, climbs in the ring, and then cheap shots Dusty Rhodes. After that, they make a big deal of the fact that Koloff just leaves on his own, doesn't go out with Russo, doesn't go out towards the way that's where Russo's locker room is. So we don't know right now if Koloff is actually siding with Russo or just choosing to be his own person. But after this, TNA takes off his headset, walks to the back. I thought he was legitimately leaving the building.
I did too. I was like, okay, TNA.
But no, instead he's actually going back to give a pep talk to Jeff Jarrett.
Weird.
So during the introductions, that's what we see. We see him giving the pep talk to Jarrett, and which moves us into our main event and final match of the night. NWA World Heavyweight Championship, a 4-way gauntlet, over the top pin and submissions, all viable. BG James versus Christopher Daniels versus Heavy D Don Harris. Ron's not here tonight. I don't know where he is.
I haven't seen him in a while.
I swear he was here last week.
No, he wasn't.
Whatever. And then, champion Jeff Jarrett.
So it's 3 against 1.
Basically. After the pep talk, Jarrett tells, TNA, you do what you do best. I'm going to kick their asses.
You do what you do best. I'm going to do what I do best.
Go kick some ass.
Yeah, but you cannot stand on this.
Anyways, Jarrett goes after them. Even tries to start by throwing Daniels over the top rope, but Daniels manages to catch himself and get back in the ring, so he's not eliminated. You have to, when you go over the top rope, you have to hit the floor, basically. And Daniels did the skin the cat thing. That doesn't mean anything to you, does it?
I'm assuming he landed on the skirt and went under or something.
Skinning the cat in wrestling is when you go over the top rope and you catch yourself by holding onto the rope and dangle there, and then you pull yourself back up and over just purely on your strength.
So kind of like what I said, just not under.
Yeah, your feet doesn't land on anything.
Okay.
You just pull yourself up with your upper body strength.
Could have just said that I was mostly right.
I wanted to explain it fully though.
She's bothering Dante now.
That's fine. Jarrett tries to fight against the odds, but it's a numbers game, and he starts to lose very quickly.
I just have a question about this match.
What about it?
I think I missed something.
Sure.
So if they're out of the ring, they don't go over the.
They can get out of the ring as long as it's not over the top rope.
Yeah, and apparently there is no timing out thingy.
No countouts, no disqualifications.
Okay.
Just pin submissions and over the top rope eliminations.
Okay, did I miss that then?
It just sounds like you didn't know.
Oh, is that something that is automatically done then?
What do you mean?
Like in a gauntlet, is that always done like that? Or
I don't. I think using the term gauntlet makes it like unclear.
sorry.
Usually they try to say battle royal
Okay.
sort of thing.
Fine.
But I guess it's really not because battle royals mostly are over the top rope only. So I guess gauntlet might be might be the right term. I just don't know.
Oh, but you understand.
Unfortunately, but since they did clarify, they made certain to let us know. I can't complain about that because they made the rules very clear,
They did.
and that's great because TNA has a long history from what I've used to watch of giving us specialty matches with unclear rules.
Yeah. I just wanted to. So that's something that's always a rule in this type of thing, that there's never a count out, no
Generally speaking, yeah, in this,
Okay.
I guess, yeah, this style of match, yeah, usually countouts and disqualifications do not count.
Okay, I didn't know that, so I was so confused later on in the match.
Okay. So, anyways, they go to the outside. Jarrett tries using the chair to even the odds a bit, but again, numbers game catches up on him. We're getting some tension though between Scott Armstrong and BG James, the brothers, because James tries to use the chair on Jarrett, and Scott stops him.
Sorry.
Does that multiple times.
He does, which
actually.
is why I'm laughing.
But at this point, it's only about 2 minutes into this match, and Jarrett's already bleeding. Apparently, Don also got nicked on the side of his head, so he's got a little bit of blood coming too, but as opposed to Jarrett, where I'm almost positive he bladed, it looks like Don getting cut open was an accident. You don't usually cut, like, the side of your head.
Yeah, and that's like this. It was like way up there. It was like, he doesn't have any hair, so it's a lot easier to see. It was like above his forehead.
Yeah.
Like way above, on the left side. Right side? Left.
It was past his temple.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't know my lefts from my rights half the time, so.
It was on his left side.
Yeah, I said left like 4 times. And then
All right. Anyways, so the three of them are beating him up. They beat him up around outside the ring. They start moving through the crowd. They take him to that one area where they always have someone dive off the balcony through a table. And they do that again, but this time Jarrett actually manages to fight out and get out of the way, letting Daniels crash and burn through a table all on his own.
Yeah, I think he kicked.
That takes Daniels out of the match for a little while.
I think he kicks, oh, you didn't know in the ball.
Probably.
That's what I would do.
Anyways, they do fight their way back to the ring after this, but it's just James and Harris against Jarrett. The two do have full control of him though, beating him up, hitting their big moves, trying to pin him, but Jarrett is managing to either kick out with what little strength he has left, or he's close enough to the ropes to put his foot on it. Eventually, James and Scott Armstrong get into it again. And this time, Scott takes off his shirt and just goes after BG James.
I laughed really.
So, like, he just quit being a ref there and decided, I'm fighting.
He did. It was funny.
And because of this, we get Dusty Rhodes running out with another ref to replace him. And this gives Jarrett a opportunity to throw Don Harris over the top rope, eliminating him. Then he turns his attention to James, gets him thrown over the top rope. He's eliminated as well. And to stop them from continuing to interfere between Daniels and Jarrett now, Dusty Rhodes starts beating him up. He's beating up James. So, anyways,
and
Daniels finally gets back to go ahead.
Dusty Rhodes, old Cowboys, what I call him, went all the way back to Russo's dressing room thingy and like start beating up a few other guys for the hell of it. It was funny.
I think he was looking for Russo, but Russo wasn't there.
Yeah, I think so too. I think they said that.
Anyways, but while he was doing that, we got a little bit more. Daniels had finally got back to the ring, and he was using the submissions on Jarrett, which, you know what, makes perfect sense in this point because we wanted to have our attention taken over to what Rhodes was doing for the moment. So, putting him in a submission gives us ability to pause watching that what's happening with them to watch Rhodes. So like that makes sense.
Yeah.
The announce team takes note that the SATs and other people who are TNA loyals right now come out to cheer Jarrett on.
I didn't see anybody.
But the finish comes when Daniels goes to do a dive, and I don't know what Jarrett actually was supposedly doing. I think he was supposed to be... I think this is what we're supposed to think happened. Because this is what it looks like mostly. It looks like Daniels went to do some sort of diving move. Jarrett got up, caught him, and in the dive, and in the catch and the dive, he hit the stroke. Like it was supposed to be like a stroke out of nowhere. That's so weird to say, but that's his name of his finisher.
I know, I'm like, does he have health problems? Should he be wrestling?
No, The Miz does almost the same move, and it's called the Skull Crushing Finale.
Okay.
But he does that. He gets the pin and the victory. And as the TNA loyals are in there celebrating the victory with him, out of nowhere, he gets attacked by Raven from behind. Raven hits the Raven effect, grabs his title belt, and runs off with Russo, having stolen the belt now. So we're getting we have possession of the belt, even though we're not champions moment. Yeah, Raven has appeared.
I am going to say this. We did not have a Don West heart attack moment.
I was just thinking that.
I know. I was thinking about it. I was like, Don West didn't have a heart attack moment. I'm so proud of him.
Anyways. But yeah, that was a show.
Beast are fired, hun.
It's really hard because that tag title match was really good. The World Championship match told a decent story. The six-man tag was really good. I don't ever want to watch Mike Sanders and David Flair wrestle again. The X Division Championship match was bullshit.
It was.
But at least it's set up to build Kid Cash. Zbyszko and Styles was not a good match, but it didn't tell its story very well. I think that was a weak one. And then we had Estrada and Hudson, which sucked, even though Estrada is great. So,
and then it had the.
I don't know. If we had a I'm neutral on this, this would be the most neutral I've ever been.
See, I try to do that every week, and you say no. So I'm gonna tell you no.
It's a fired then. If I have to pick, it's a fired.
I'm gonna go
because I know they could do better.
Yeah. I'm going to go with Fire too because most of my favorite people lost.
Okay, that's fair.
And so Sunglasses won, which was great. That was like the only one that did win that I was like, yay, about. Because like the first one, the 6-man tag team thingy, I don't really have any feelings on them one way or the other. So, I'm going to go with Fired as well.
I really thought this was going to be a shorter episode because I only had 4 pages. But here we are at nearly an hour.
I'm sorry, it's my fault.
Anyways, let's wrap this up before we hit that hour. Thank you for listening. Looking forward to next week because, I actually really have liked Raven in the past, but I don't know how good his early TNA run is. Anyways, thanks for listening. Like, comment, and subscribe, and keep on wrestling.
Have a good night.